This build series follows my journey as a backyard restorer, resto modding a 1964 EH Holden panel van, equipped with not only a 3.8 litre Commodore V6 engine, but also an independent front end, independent rear end, and all the mod cons you'd expect from a true resto mod. All of this thanks to a promise I made to my dying father, ensuring that his last car that he started to restore got finished. Welcome back to the shed and the EH build. Today's job is one I've been putting off for a little while now. It is doing the windowless panels. Now, I bought this kit from Ray, who is at Mad Folk Engineering in Newcastle. I bought it 2 years ago. Now, I did an unboxing video probably about 2 years ago. So that's how long I've been sitting on this thing, how long I've been sitting on doing this job. But these are the panels. So he boxes them all up into the container over there, and then yeah, these are the nice panels. Now the thing I like about them is the fact that they've got the profile in them, so they've got that curve, right? Factory curve. They've got all the factory spot weld points. It's just ready to I guess cut in and put in. So as you can see, if you look down this profile here, it curves around like that. You probably can't make it out in the GoPro, but yeah, it starts to curve down. So I got some really detailed instructions from Ray a couple of years ago, and I've just gone through the messages again, and yeah, it's ready to start making cuts. So the plan's going to be, I've got to cut out this part here, like all the current window section here. Now, clearly I'm just going to cut through there and whatnot. Now, what Ray has sort of said to me is thinking about warpage, and the reason why we wouldn't just directly put, panels in these sections here is because you can never really stop the warpage too much. Whereas having a one flat piece of panel, we can try and control the warpage. So what the plan's going to be is I've marked a line 4 mils. So he said 3 to 5 mils. So I've just split the difference and gone 4. So from there all the way down the door jamb on that B pillar, I'm then just going to do a cut across there, because what I need to do is I need to go through, and I've marked them already, but I need to go through and drill out all those spot welds all the way along, right? So this whole panel's got to come out. So I'm going to cut through there, drill out all those spot welds. I'm just going to cut through here at the moment because on the other side, we've got the window vents. Now I'm probably going to take those window vents out and rust seal behind them in that anyway, but I just want to cut all this out just to make a start on it. So I'm officially started on it, and then we'll bolt all this up, and we'll see what it looks like just as a rough-in.
Too far.
although it ended up being pretty painless, I thought this was going to take forever to go through and drill out all these, you know, spot welds and that, but it ended up being pretty quick. So this is what we got. Now I'll have to put some rust sealer on that now that I've got access to it, which is good. And then I'm going to clean up all this. Now what's interesting is this is where the uprights go. So there's 3 uprights in the panel van, and you know, have a look at the rust that sort of sits under these here. So it's taken out a fair chunk of good steel in there. So I'm going to clean all this up now, and then I'll see if I need to make any patches or anything like that in there. I don't think I need to, but we'll see. And then I'll put some weld through primer on it, and then start to think about sort of fitting it up. Okay, I think I'm in a spot to start putting some welds down. I literally just spoke to Ray again, and just confirmed what my attack plan is, and he's happy with it, so that's good. So let's have a bit of a look. So yeah, cut that out. Put some weld through primer on both sides of that, and then you would have seen I've done the B pillar there, so put some rust seal on that. Then what I've done is I've taken off the vents, which really exposes how rusted out that was there, so that's good. So it just gives me the ability to, you know, get into the back there. Now I haven't put all the tech screws in all the plugs yet, but I will. I'll go through and make sure there's a tech screw in each of those, because Ray reckons that it tends to move a little bit. So the plan's going to be to tack the B pillar off, because that's nice and flat and flush. I'm then going to run a little tack just here, just to get that part right. This bit here is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. You can see that there's a big gap there. So I'm leaving that till last, but I'll put a tack there. I'll run tacks down there. Then I'm going to do the plug welds. So all the plug welds, and I've got to play around with this because this bit here, it's sort of at the back here, it goes out and then it comes out to the lip like that. But then it progressively gets closer and more flush up here. And if I look at the other side, that's sort of what it does here as well. So see how it sort of sticks out, and then it progressively gets flush with the front. So I'm sort of just going to try and match that. So I've got that there. I think I've got these screws here probably out too far, so I've probably got to push that in, but I can actually see where I've got to go in on that. And then the rest of it's okay. So it's just really just this bit here. I've got to push that in just a smidge. So I'll finish all the plug welds off, and then I'll run some tacks along the top. And so here I go using my panel clamps again. And then that should be pretty bang on then. So yeah, it's going to come up looking pretty bloody good, I reckon. Well, all done, and I am wrapped with it. Just those panels are something else. Like, yeah, I would hate to do it without those panels. Honestly, that was pretty cool. So let's have a look. So yeah, blended in the door, the B pillar, and then I probably didn't cut as much as what Ray probably does. I think he goes up like probably another 5 mil more. I basically cut it underneath where the vents are, so the bottom of the vents, as you can see there, which was good because it gave me plenty of room there, one, to put the clamps on, to put these clamps in there, so it gave me plenty of room to do that. If I went up more, it wouldn't sit flat, so that was pretty good. And then two, it gave me room then to run the grinder through to sand it all flat. So yeah, that was pretty good. And I was able to, you know, keep warpage under control and just keep the, you know, heat out of it, sort of thing. So it's actually sitting nice and flat and smooth. And then he did say that this part here would be a bit of a pain because of the way it curves this way and then it curves this way. But what I found is I welded up, you know, did all the plug welds first and then I welded up here. And so then I had this section left over. And so I just came on the inside and just cut it straight down and then clamped it all. And because I cut it where I cut it, like I didn't go any further back where it starts to really shape off, I basically cut it on the flat part here. It meant that I was able to, you know, blend it in like that. And so there's a little dip in there, but that'll get covered, you know, once I put some filler in it. But yeah, absolutely wrapped. And then the inside, I think I'm gonna leave those plug welds there like that because it actually looks like studs. So it looks fairly factory, I would have thought. So I think I'm gonna leave them instead of grinding them off. And then I've cleaned up all that, ready to put the vents back on and then the uprights in. But yeah, I'm bloody stoked with it. And then this side, let me just turn that light on. Here we go. This side is the opposite. So this side sort of sticks out a little bit. So I have to belt this down a little bit here. But yeah, kept it nice and flat and smooth up through here. And again, blended it into the door and a panel van that's actually now a panel van. So how good. So now that that's done, the next part is one, I've got to clean the vents up. So let's have a look at the vents. So these are the vents. Now, I don't know if they actually need to, but I sort of marked where they came off anyway. I think they're all just the same, but just to be safe. Now, some of them I'll have to, you know, I've got to do a bit of work on this, so I'll have to put a new piece of steel in here. I've got a new piece that I'll need to put in there and there. Some of these can be welded up and that. So the underside of them, as you can see, they're pretty crap. So they'll have to get a good clean up. So that's probably a couple of hours work just cleaning all those up. And then I've still got to put in the uprights. So these are the uprights that go in there, right? To basically just give that wall a bit of support. Now, they just get plug welded in at the top and at the bottom. And then I'm just confirming, I'm gonna put in some like foam sort of tape, sort of like this, just as a packer sort of material, just to allow the expansion for the panel sides and that. So yeah, I'll crack into this part now. All right, making progress. So I've now done all the repairs on all the vents, and I've given them a rust seal. So a few of them I had to replace, you know, down the bottom and that there. This one here I had to put a whole piece in. So yeah, that's pretty good there. And then inside I've also done just the rust seal in behind there as well. So that's all ready to go. And then I've also got the uprights, they're all pre-coated. So I think I'll do that next. I'll probably do that tomorrow.
A few moments later.
All right, job done. Got the uprights in, got the vents back on, and bloody happy with it. Bloody happy with it. I'll tell you what, these uprights, so these are from Mad Folk Engineering, so Ray's done these as well, and just the angle of them was perfect, you know, how they all line up. It's just, all that engineering is bloody awesome. So the idea was we have to, you know, obviously weld them, plug weld them top and bottom so that they're in, but you can't sort of, I guess, weld this to the actual panel because the panel's got to flex and move in the heat and everything like that. So he sort of mentioned to me, he goes, yeah, get some 10mm packing foam and then put it in behind there before you weld it off. And then that's, you know, that's sufficient. What I found though is I got the 10mm stuff but maybe it was the way that I'd sort of cut it, or like the way that I'd done the panels. It was way too thick. There was no way I could actually get the bottom of it, this bit here, up flush. So what I had to go down and get was some 5mm stuff. So it's a little bit thinner. And I mean, this one's got an adhesive back, so at least I was able to sort of stick it to the upright and then screw it in. So just did the standard sort of thing, put some self-tappers through there and at the top, and then welded it off. And then, yeah, so I've got obviously a bit of a clean up to do, so I'll go through and I'll clean up all these. But yeah, that's the final look. As you can see, I've put a bit of coat, like I've just put a bit of paint behind in there, because I won't be able to get in there ever again. So yeah, it's come up pretty good. So I reckon that one's gonna wrap this episode up. I've got, what have I got? I've got ahead of me, I've still got a few little rust repairs that I'm gonna do next. And then I've got to attack. I'll tell you what, the one thing I do need to attack is this thing is out of control. The tailgate. So if you look at the tailgate, it is just, ugh. I've been dreading doing that one, so I've got to do that one next. But I've got a couple little rust repairs to go left on the door jamb, and then I'm pretty much ready to paint the inside. So I've settled on my colour. I've actually sprayed a test panel. I'm not going to give away what the colour is. Maybe leave a comment below and have a guess of what sort of colour it's going to be. But I'm going to be starting to lay down some colour very, very soon. If you've made it this far, hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on, make sure you don't miss a single episode that comes out on this build series, and we'll catch you next time.